Former Vice President Mike Pence this past week gave a speech at a small Republican gathering up in New Hampshire. But during this speech, Mike Pence actually condemned the events of January 6th, the moron insurrection. And then after he said that, he let a little nugget slip that might be very damaging to Donald Trump. But here is what Mike Pence had to say. January 6th was a dark day in the history of the United States Capitol. But thanks to the swift actions of the U.S. Capitol Police and federal law enforcement, violence was quelled, the Capitol was secured, and that same day we reconvened the Congress and did our duty under the Constitution and laws of the United States. Now, before I continue his comment, the reason he said we did our duty, to the law and Constitution of the United States was to basically tell the crowd, listen, I can't overturn an election. That's not my job. I do not have the authority to do that. Trump keeps saying I should have, but I'm just letting you know I followed the law. So that's why he added that part. He then continued, President Trump and I have spoken many times since we left office, and I don't know if we'll ever see eye to eye on that day. But I will always be proud of what we accomplished for the American people over the last 4 years. What you talking about, Mike? Are you talking about the insurrection? Because that's what you were talking about. Talking about how that was a dark day. Essentially condemning it. I mean, after all, you did have Trump supporters wandering the halls chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." So, yeah, I imagine you think it was a pretty bad day, and then you're like, Trump and I are never going to see eye to eye on that. Are you saying that he doesn't condemn that day? That he's actually enjoying it? Because we all already know that he enjoyed it. Plenty of reports from people inside the White House have said that Donald Trump was watching the events unfold on his television with glee. We also have reports that confirm that Donald Trump asked the military to protect the insurrectionists. So we know how Donald Trump feels about all that. Of course, there is the possibility that Mike Pence is referring to him not overturning the election for Donald Trump. Maybe that's what they don't see eye to eye about. But even then, that's really no better for Donald Trump, because that confirms that Donald Trump did in fact want Mike Pence to violate the U.S. Constitution by somehow making Trump still be president, even though there's literally nothing that man could have done to make Donald Trump still be president. In fact, I honestly believe the reason Trump got as many votes as he did in both elections was because he had Mike Pence on the ticket. Had he not had that to play to the evangelical crowd, to play to the non-crazy crowd, probably never would have gotten very far. But either way, this is a big, big revelation from Mike Pence. Trump and I will never see eye to eye. So either he is admitting that Donald Trump loved what he saw unfold on his TV that day, or he wanted Mike Pence to violate the United States Constitution. Maybe even both. In fact, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that it was both. But either way, no matter which way you slice it, Donald Trump was happy with what happened in that morning and unhappy that his fellow Republicans couldn't violate the Constitution to keep him president. And that alone should be disqualifying for anyone that still supports him. You can't both support the United States and support Donald Trump. I'm sorry, those two things are in fact mutually exclusive. So choose one or the other, America or Trump. And we all know which side the Trumpists have already taken.